What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Beyond the Break with Cocolazo. I got a brand new guest today. It's one of my buddies. I've been talking to him for, man, a hot minute, honestly. We always like to reach out to each other, and I felt like he was a perfect guest to bring along because he brings a different environment in the hobby, and his name is Wiggs. How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Coco Laza. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you so much. I know you and me got to experience what they didn't get to experience, and that was a lot of technical difficulties earlier. And all I know is after 28 minutes of fun, we finally got it to go and work. And oh man, that was almost a scare right there for me.
I mean, sometimes you just have to, go with the ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and eventually it works.
Oh no, you're right, dude. Because like I was saying earlier that all the episodes that I was doing earlier, I've always had it pre-programmed and everything, and all I had to do is push record, and everything was working good. And the one time, because I decided to make a brand new game just for you, that's when things went haywire. It's like all of a sudden they didn't want to communicate with each other whatsoever, and I don't think I'll ever do that again if that's what's gonna bring me heartache again.
I'm sure the game was great. I'll put it that way.
Oh, it's gonna be because what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go ahead and prep you on this, is the fact that in this game, during this interview of ours, I'm gonna randomly stop and I'm gonna ask you to grab something, okay? While you do that, you have a very short time. I'm gonna make sure it's like 5 seconds because I don't think any of the viewers wants to sit 20, 30 seconds while you try to find this item. So, I mean, it's gonna have to be like the first thing you find and you're gonna grab it because once we hit to the third one, then we should be getting close to our game and then you're gonna see why you have those three items. All right.
All right, let's hope that I can figure out what those things are and where they are on my lovely desk.
Well, that is the prime reason why I wanted to do it because let me give a little bit of a bio about Wiggs for all of you. Is first off, amazing dude, very very genuine person. He's a good friend of mine, and I feel like when you mention the name Wiggs in the community, I think everybody almost knows who he is or has dealt with him or taken even a selfie with him if you go on his Instagram. The dude's been everywhere. He knows a lot of people, and I'm sure while you're watching this, like, hey, I know that dude. And so that's Wigs for you. And and what I think is even funnier is the fact that during our conversations back in the day, he always wanted to flex that he went 1v1 against an NBA star at PE during fifth grade in elementary school, and that he schooled him. So you'll find out who that NBA star is later. But yeah, he always talked a big game on it. So I don't know why you're not in the NBA now, Wiggs. What's going on with that?
I'm 5 foot, probably 7 on a good day, and don't have hops, and can't really shoot the ball.
So
There
you
you
wait, wait, wait,
go.
wait, wait, wait. You're saying I'm actually taller than somebody? I'm 5'11". I always felt like I was the
Oh,
shortest one.
oh man, I'm tiny.
But hey, seriously, I hope everything that oh no 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 no. There's actually one more thing I wanted to go ahead and say it now because it's the funniest line if you ever jump in any of his cell rooms on whatnot is the fact that when people will ask and request for certain players, this is his response every single time is the fact that yeah, I have that card somewhere. I just don't feel like looking for it right now, but I have it.
Maybe I
Ev-
don't want to sell it.
Maybe you don't want to sell it, but it's somewhere. But I hope I covered a little bit of your bio really good, and I would like to present the floor to you now to go a little bit more in depth of who Wiggs is for the community.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the intro. I think you nailed that pretty well on the nailed the nail in the coffin there. You did. Yeah, I mean, so when I was younger, I did some collecting. I was really into football. When I first started, I think the first card I ever got at a kindergarten teacher, and if you did well in class, you got to grab something out of like the prize box. And
Hmm.
I remember the first thing I got was a football card. So I have it somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's crumpled and wrinkled and beat to poo. But somewhere I still have that card, and that's like I remember coming home one day and being like, "Oh, there's football cards." I'm like, "Hey, Dad, can we go buy some football cards?" And so that's kind of how what got me into the hobby, and that was probably 5 at the time.
Yeah.
You go probably a few years down the road, collected football for a good while. Baseball was in there. At one point in time, when I think it was fourth grade, I had a buddy come over and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring you a little starter pack of Pokemon." So he brought me a starter pack of
Let's
Pokemon. I got into
go.
Pokemon. I was a knucklehead and a couple years into collecting, got rid of all my Pokemon cards. Granted, I don't think I had anything really worth money, but gave them
Yeah.
all to my friend's little sister, and no more Pokemon really anymore. Unfortunately, it's a
Oh, dude,
knucklehead.
they were
Knucklehead.
worth stuff.
Yeah, I've learned that lesson during 2020. Um, next thing I collected was MLB Showdown. Got super into that for a good while and did that for a number of years. And then it's just what typically happens. Do something for a while, get tired of it, and then stop, and then pick it up. When I was thinking my senior year of high school, got kind of back into baseball cards again. Then took some time off. And then when I was post college, kind of bought a few soccer cards, some football, and it was just always something that I kind of like did. And to add to that, I always kind of collected something. So when I got like super into soccer, I was buying soccer jerseys quite a bit. I had a long stretch of time in like high school, middle school, early college where I was super into baseball hats. Now it's see if I can grab it here. Now it's coins.
Oh
I
man,
think
you would totally get along with my brother-in-law. He loves collecting coins.
this coin's 25 cents, or do you think it's worth more?
Is that a 1965 quarter?
It's before 65, so
So
that
then it's
means
pure
it's,
silver.
yes, sir.
Yeah, see, I
So
know my stuff. I know my stuff. My brother-in-law, he is a huge collector when it comes to coins. And so actually was my dad too. He had a lot of coin collection, and I learned a lot from him about the wheat penny, the different
mhm.
generations of the coins when they were originally built out of pure silver. For all you out there, yeah, they're still in circulation. So if you find them, it's pre 65. I can't remember if it's before 62 or what. The
64, I believe, is the last year they were pure silver.
That's right.
Most,
So
most
yeah. So pre 65, all quarters and dimes and nickels were pure silver. So keep an eye and look out because that's actually worth more than the coin itself.
right. It's worth about $5 roughly for a well circulated silver quarter from pre 65. So anything
Yep.
64,
And don't ever get rid of your $2 bills either because it's worth more than $2.
correct.
So, but going back to the hobby, I mean, I could talk about. I got my general knowledge of stuff. You know, I kind of feel like I relate towards you because I went through different. Well, I say I went through. I kind of still do it. Different types of hobbies, and that I've always liked collecting. I mean, uh, I have some coins and stuff. Usually, it's because it was given to me by my brother-in-law and stuff. I mean, I have Pokemon because I did it with my daughter. I have some comic books that if one day I'll show around my office and everything, but I have it in these cases plastered on my wall. I have the pops and everything. Like to me, I enjoy the collection and stuff because some things bring like a uniqueness to me, and I think that's what draws me. It's like the uniqueness, or if there's like a fancy art style to it, or like record labels. I love collecting record albums because one, I've always been a huge passionate person about music growing up, but also I always thought the records were the coolest things ever.
For sure.
But um, thank you for giving them more in depth about who Wiggy is, and feel free to call him Wiggy. That's what I like to call him every time I jump in one of his rooms. He absolutely adores that.
Well, ironically, you're the first person that I've known since I moved out to Columbus in 21. Like
That's right. That's right. You
back when I
said
was
that.
in middle school, the sixth grade. My sixth grade teacher, Mr. Mickelbrink, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna start calling you Wig. And then from there, people are like Wiggins, oh Wiggs, Wiggy, Wiggle. And so like I had that name kind of stuck with it, and
Yeah.
myself, I was like, oh, when I created my Instagram handle for and the whatnot, I was like, oh, what name kind of capture is me? It's Wigs. And so I was like, I'm gonna go for it, and that the stick with it, stick with what sticks.
Exactly. Whatever captures you. That's awesome. So let me go ahead and start blasting some questions at you. And the first one, you pretty much covered almost all of it before even I got to ask is what got you into the hobby, and that was a cool backstory. And it looks like you go through your waves and everything, and then it looks like you always like to go back to it. So it looks like you do a time period. So hopefully you're not going to get tired of soccer anytime soon
Oh
and
God, no,
rotate
God, no,
out.
no, sir.
But I do have a good question is that how large is your collection? I mean, hearing you go through different types of hobbies and stuff, how big is your collection?
Um, my desk is a very disorganized. Lot of stuff. I'd say that I think what oh my gosh, what I collect or what I enjoy. I'm struggling with words. Is I like
Stuttering
buying unique things.
Stanley.
Yes, understand. I like buying unique things, things that aren't as common or things you don't see every day. Like I can go to a card store and like, oh my gosh, I got the newest Yamal card. Woohoo! I'm like, you know what? I would rather have something that might be, maybe not the biggest name player, but something that you're just like, oh, I'm not going to see that card, or maybe I'll see it, but it's probably not going to pop up for a hot minute. And so when people have stuff like that, I'm like, yes, sir. Let me buy it. I might overpay and I might, whatever, but I'm like, I like old, odd, unique things.
Yeah,
Or
and you've showed me some of them before when we first met, and honestly, I enjoyed looking at those too because it, like you said, it's unique, it's different, it's not like part of the rave at that moment. You're looking at something that eh, has a different kind of like set value towards itself, and not value like money wise, but like just like how it was created or how it looks. Is like it's not something that you see every day.
right. Oh, I love those cards. Love those cards. And,
I would say I got a couple.
eventually when I get, tired of it, I sometimes I'm willing to move it on, but usually I'm like, yeah, it's just I've got a just like the older sets from like the 2010s. Some older, but not a lot. Just enjoy things that are harder, not as mainstream, I guess you could say, or not
Right.
the popular at this time cards.
That's
I
cool.
still have those.
Hey, like what you said earlier, like you have everything, but you just can't find it at the moment.
Correct.
So let's go a little bit of a shift over here. I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up next year because I'm excited for it. I know you're very excited for it, and that's the World Cup. So I had some questions I wanted to dive actually. I haven't got to ask really anybody about the World Cup in general. We talked a little bit, but I know with you I can get a little bit more out of it.
Okay.
So
I'm ready.
so
Fire
first
away.
things first is that who do you think for the World Cup is going to be like your alpha team, like the team everybody's going to talk about that they're just going to say they're the contenders. They're going to be the ones that win it.
I think there's a number of teams you can include in that whole thing. I think you can say Argentina, since they won years ago. You can include France because they've been in the final the last 2 years. They won it 8 years ago. The team that I think I'm going to include in it is going to be. I have my eyes on Portugal. I think this is Ronaldo's time, and like,
Really?
yes. I think you look at the players, you look at the team, you look at the core, like kind of like the you look at the core of the Paris Saint Germain team that won the Champions League. You
Yeah,
got
there
Vitinha,
was Vitinha
Net,
and
you got Nuno Mendes.
John
Uh,
Neves.
yep. So
Yeah,
you got a core players there. You've got a lot of older players. You got younger players. You got veterans. I think this might be the year that Portugal actually gets over the hump and Ronaldo lifts the trophy, and you can officially say that he might be the GOAT.
I will. Okay, I'll give you that one. I will give you Portugal because you're right because they have a lot of strong players and a lot of players that get slept on like Rafael Leao is one of them. And I'm Giovanni Quenda, right?
Who?
Quenda, that
Yeah,
prospect rookie that plays out of Sporting that's supposed to be going to Chelsea.
right.
Is
I know. I
is
haven't
he going
seen
to
him.
be on the squad or is he still too young?
I have not seen enough of him to be able to form like opinion. I think like typically you do. bring like a younger player. You look at their 2016 team. They had Ronaldo Sanch, who was supposed to be the next God player, and kind of
Right.
ended up kind of going out. But he was only at the time in 2016. He was like 16 years old. So like there's a chance that they'll bring somebody. I don't. I like I said, I don't know. We'll
I
find out, I
won't
guess.
be mad with that choice, and and if Portugal ends up winning it, I actually will be genuinely happy if Portugal win it, as long as Argentina does it. That's honestly all I care about. I mean, I have a lot of Argentinian friends, so please don't be too mad at me, but for me as a Colombian, I got to see my country finally get all the way towards the end and win one, and to me, that's where my passion is my country, because I don't know if I got to tell you or not. I think I did. I don't remember. I've talked to so many in weeks that I now forget what's going on each day. But me and my wife got to go watch Colombia versus Mexico for the one of the
Uh,
friendly matches at the Cowboy Stadium,
nice.
and by far, like the last Colombia game I went to was Copa America, and that was down in Houston at NRG Stadium, and that's when Vidal was on freaking fire for Chile, and they crushed Colombia in the semifinals and knocked them out for the championship, and I was devastated. But after watching the game versus Mexico, I realized that just how much those two countries bring so much passion into the sports. Because I went to the USA game. It was USA versus someone for the Gold Cup. I can't even remember, but when I looked at the when they announced the amount of fans inside of the stadium, there was only like a total of, I think it was like 9 or 10,000 people, and it didn't fill up the bottom layer of the Cowboy Stadium. And when I went to the Colombia versus Mexico game, there was almost like 35,000 or something. Like it was a lot. The stadium was packed. The tickets, they were sold out.
Yeah.
So the stadium
Oh
was
yeah.
filled. I mean, it was all the way up to the nosebleeds. It's just night and day when it comes to different countries and the passion behind soccer. And I just wish that USA had more. And I personally do think and believe that next year will probably spark the fire finally for soccer in the USA because of the World Cup. And I really hope it follows through with it and stays that way, that the MLS will start getting a little bit more recognition and can start inheriting better players and more fans and stuff like that, because that's I think that's what we need right now, is a good transition to where this sport finally blows up here in the States versus all other nations. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, like what you said, like you went to the Colombia Mexico game. The stadium was packed. Um, like just the for whatever reason the friendlies, the competition games the U.S. is in, like when the U.S. hosts the Gold Cup and they're in a final against Mexico, there's way more Mexico fans. It's crazy. It's just like it seems like there's some maybe form of disconnect between the fans and the organization. I don't know what it is. I know
Right.
when the U.S. was here and they were playing Japan, the ticket for the friendly was like over $100, and I'm like, it'd be really fun to go, but I'm like, I don't want to drop $100 on a friendly. Like, if it was $50, 60, maybe 70,
Right.
I'd be like, okay, sure. But it's like $100. I'm gonna go to my run club and go run.
Right. I mean, fans don't have a problem dropping over $100 for a football game or a baseball game without a doubt, even hockey and basketball. But it seems
Right.
like when it comes to soccer, people are very hesitant about dropping that amount. And I mean, we saw a little bit of a glimpse when it came into the Club World Cup, how they dropped ticket prices really low so they could really draw a huge crowd for that in some of the
Hmm.
states, which surprised me, because I'd be like, man, if it was in Texas, I would be all over that, trying to go to games like as much as I could, no matter who was playing it. But
Right.
in other states are like, oh, we need more fans to attend, and like they drop the prices a lot.
Yeah, I know
So
the closest was Cincinnati. I did not make it down to a game. I was always working, unfortunately, during the Club World Cup. I did have a friend go and said it was relatively packed. I think it was like Dortmund versus don't remember who, but he said his kid had fun, so that's all that matters, I guess, for him and his family's experience.
yeah, I always wondered if they did that as like a taste to see what it would turn out to be, which could make sense. But I know I just completely threw a massive curveball as we're talking about the World Cup, but now we're transitioning to all of this. So let's go back to the World Cup. So who do you think is your sleeper team?
Sleeper team? Ooh, man.
You can give me a couple if you feel like there's more than one.
Couple. You know who every year is always very good. I'm a big fan of the Japanese national team. I think like when you compare them to the U.S., like the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
has some very good athletes, like, but then you look at the Japanese team, Japanese players. They are so freaking technical.
Yes.
Um, they're so freaking technical, and you know, myself, when they played in the lead up to the 22 World Cup in a friendly, I was like, oh, the U.S. is gonna smoke Japan. This is like, and then like I watched the game and then started watching like I'm like, nope, Japan is one like the thing that they don't have necessarily like a star player, but they play really well as a key 11, like 11 players on the field. They play really well together, and so like for me personally, I could see Japan making a really deep run and doing really well.
I could give you that, and I absolutely agree when it comes to technicality. When it comes to Japan, because they do that in every sport. If you don't realize, baseball
Yes.
too, especially like they are all about technical skills. It's unreal. Like have you ever watched any of the documentaries that they had for baseball? Like they
I've
had
not.
like boot camps and stuff that the players attend to constantly, like since they've been little, to get all
Right.
those forms down perfect. I mean, they really focus on fundamentals to the T.
Right. 100%, 100%. Like I saw like one of the training videos for like one of the schools, like, and they were like juggling like a soccer ball like across like a tennis court or something like that, and that's like what they were working on. So it's like, you know never did that when any of the soccer practices I had back when I was a kid. It was a lot more just go have fun and kick the ball and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate to that growing up. Any other sleeper teams you have in mind?
um you know
And I know that
I
the set is not filled up, but based off of what could be potential making it to the 36 or the ones that have already qualified. I mean, you can take your choice.
Right. I think I got to go with my heritage, and I got to go with Norway. I think if they can, I think I'm pretty sure they're pretty close. Like they just have to win like a game more, and they should be in
I think they're
at worst,
clutch.
maybe be in the play-in. And I'm gonna say this right now. I like Holland. He's a good player, but if you want to know the true Norwegian goat, it's 100% Odegaard. That dude plays with so much freaking passion, so much passion. Like you can tell, like whatever team he's playing for, Arsenal, um, or Norway, that he really cares about it. Whereas there's been times where uh, Holland missed, either wasn't there. He was healthy, playing well for City, but he wasn't playing like in the Nation League, which I know is kind of
Right.
like a B League sort of competition. The one thing I will say about the Nations League, real quick, is for smaller nations that don't play like oh, we're in the World Cup qualifying or Euro qualifying. They get kicked. Their butt kicked by Portugal or Spain or
Yeah.
Italy. It's good for them because you get San Marino versus Liechtenstein. So you have two teams that are not great, but they get to play each other and play in a more competitive match and have more competitive matches at kind of their level, which I could see at some point making them eventually become better teams potentially.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So let me tell you mine that. So first with my alpha type of team, I kind of agree with the France one. I feel like France has a very powerful heavy squad. I don't think that's one team that's probably going to need to be, underestimated by any means. Like you can't
Right.
sleep on France. They
Nope.
have they have they have pretty much every player in position that is at their top tier. I think England's finally starting to wake up back again with the way that they are. I think this is Harry Kane's last World Cup too, isn't it? Like I'm pretty sure he
It's
announced it, or he's at that
got
age.
got to be close. I don't know how old he is,
He's
but
36 or 30, 35 or 36. He's very close to the age of James because I know James already said that this is going to be his last run.
yeah,
And as much as I love my country and everything like that, I think they will. I think they have a great shot. I think they have the potential. The only thing that Colombia really struggles, I hate seeing it. I mean, there was a prime example watching it with the women's. It was a prime example watching it with the U20 squad. They have the talent, they have the skill, but it seems like when they get there towards the very end is when they finally get exhausted their resources and
Yeah,
they decide to just they lax off just a little bit, and that one moment when they lax is the moment that they create a crucial issue in the game, like
right,
when Colombia allowed that penalty that was so close to the freaking goal, and allowed them to contend and score. And I was like, that right there, if you didn't grab him and pull him and everything, you probably had a better chance with the 1v1 with the keeper and him to make that save. Like
right.
there was still potential and a good risk. But and the same with the women's. I mean, they were playing so strong and aggressive until the very end, and the same thing. It's like they get exhausted at that point. So hopefully, what happens is that Colombia uses their resources more wisely and don't try to play and exhaust their players almost the full 90-minute plus game, because you see it yourself. Like I'd noticed even in the friendly match, uh, they were already up. Colombia won 4-0. Sorry, Mexico, but they did. But um, for a friendly match, they used Luis Diaz. They ran him almost till about the 84th minute until they finally pulled him out for a friendly. and
Yeah, it's
and,
so
and same with James, like they lasted that long, and I think yeah, I paid to go watch them because they're my favorite players to watch, but at the same time I'm thinking in the back of my head is like, yeah, they scored. Go ahead and pull them. Start using some of them bench players that need a little bit more field time. That way they're
about
more ready whenever something happens in the big time games.
about Cucho. Give me some Cucho.
Dude, Cucho, I want to know what's going on with that because sometimes Cucho makes the squad and sometimes Cucho does not make the squad. So
Well, he started the year really, really in not great form. Wasn't scoring goals, and he's like kind of like the last like month and a half. He's kind of started to pick it up again. He's very much a I feel like very streaky player. Like yeah, like he'll have games like a streaky games where he scores, and he'll have a couple games where he kind of disappears or is a little off. Or I
right.
remember one of the crew games I went to, he got a little angry and decided to do a little stompage and got thrown out with a red card and missed a couple
Oof.
games.
See,
So
I missed all that. That just upsets me alone. But those are my powerhouse teams. Yeah, I mean, you can always say, yeah, Argentina, yeah, they'll make it far, of course, unless they're in the group of death, because there's always that one group stage. I think England will definitely make it far for sure. Um, I think trying to think who else, like actually officially Egypt. I don't know. I don't think Egypt will go far. I know Mo Salah is towards the end of his career, and I don't think Egypt has a powerful squad to back him up like he needs, which is a shame because he was a phenomenal player to watch. But
right.
I think definitely Germany is going to be one of those teams that it's not the sleeper squad, but it's not the alpha team. But I think it's a team that you really don't want to underestimate when you play them because I know Musiala will be healthy and freshened and everything, and you got so many other players that's going to be backing him up. I think Germany's going to do good too. So I would say,
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm
yeah.
gonna make sure I have to take some time off for some take a week off during that and just sit on my butt and watch soccer all day.
Oh, dude, I already plan on doing that too. I know December 5th. If anybody is out there paying attention to this part, I'm gonna be hosting a live reaction of the drawings for the World Cup, where me, Oaks, and one of my other friends are gonna be talking about every player, every team that gets picked up per stage, and kind of giving our predictions how this World Cup's gonna end up looking like. So make sure you tune in for that. So a little shout out for the future
It's only a
there.
few months away.
I know I can't wait. I've never been more excited about a thing, but let me go ahead and shift a little bit of the gears here. And since we talked about the World Cup, you nailed it on the coffin earlier about Ronaldo, and obviously your logo has Messi on it, but I gotta bring up the question because I ask all my guests, and I don't know if you saw or not, but I make a poll now every time I host a guest on who is their goat, and I allow the viewers to select who they believe the goats is. So
Let me get all messy, right?
almost. This was surprisingly closer than I expected it. It was a
Okay.
total
Okay.
of 19 votes, and it was 11 votes Messi and 8
Okay.
votes Ronaldo. So,
Okay.
Wiggy, who is your GOAT?
I think people are going to be surprised to hear it. I know I've got the messy background. It's a pretty cool picture from a poster from the art for the 2014 World Cup. And I do like Messi. I do respect Messi, and I do go back and forth. But it's Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo.
That's awesome. Do you
It's
want to give your
Ronaldo.
2 cents on why?
I mean, I just they're slightly different players. Like Ronaldo, like in the air, is a freaking freak. That dude can jump out of the freaking room.
Yeah.
And just some of those goals he's had, to me are just amazing. So the creativity, and people say that he's a selfish player. He's not a selfish player. Like he knows when he needs to move, like pass the ball, and
Right.
when he. But, Messi definitely has more assists than Ronaldo, but I'd say that is a true goal scorer. Ronaldo's a more true goal scorer than Messi. Messi still is a true goal scorer, but I got to go with Ronaldo.
Right. Well, now that you mention that, this is where I'm going to take your about 5 to 10 seconds. You need to find a random card, soccer themed, hopefully, but a random card. You got 5 to 10 seconds. Go.
How about this?
Okay. Oh, I need that card. I need that card
I
after
got I
this.
got cards all around me, but I knew you'd like this one, so I
Okay.
just had to.
We will be talking and negotiating after this meeting for that card, okay?
All right, I think we can make a deal on that, my friend.
Deal. All right, so let me go ahead. We're gonna shift from a little bit from sports, and now I want to actually kind of get your insight, your 2 cents, and on the perspective of the hobby itself. All right. So what I want to know first is, as a hobby as a whole. All right, what is your opinion about it? Just the hobby as its whole, and then I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into it.
I think when I first kind of started getting like more like into the cards and card collecting, I think it was probably 2022. I want to say is when I started kind of going more into it. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I can make money, can make money, can make money. But then like as I've gotten more into it, I'm like, you know what? You can sure you can make money, but for me, it's been more so about what I've gone from is like going making money to more so I'm gonna buy and collect what I like,
Right.
and you know what, along the way, like I'll buy something and the kind of collection I enjoy it, and kind of when I'm like, all right, I think I've had enough enjoyment with this card, then I'll usually move it on to like somebody else that collects it, whatever you want to see it.
Right.
Uh, I think one thing that you've definitely started to see is, back in 22, like you could sell anything. You sell like a base card and you go for like, $5. It was kind of the Wild West on whatnot,
Yeah.
um, and eBay. And like now I definitely noticed that people that are like in it for like quick flips, like there's a lot less of them, I feel like. People are being a lot more selective of what they're buying. At the same time, though, people I think have kind of realized what they want to buy, and so, for myself, I tend to buy. Before Messi and Ronaldo were kind of blew up recently, like in price, I was buying some of those cards.
Yeah.
Um, and for me also, just buying, when I'd watch a game, buy like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy some cards of players that I just enjoyed watching, like Ibrahimovic
Love
or
Zlatan.
Zlatan, or I bought like a cool Drew recently. Uh, you know, bought a fun Vardy in the England kit
Oh,
from
cool.
Select recently. So like, I just kind of buy things I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, sometimes if I see like every now and then you will find a card that somebody has way undervalued, and then it's like, all right, I know this card's worth more, and so like then I'll be like, all right, this is more of a flip. But I would say in general for me, it's more so I'm gonna buy stuff I like, and maybe I'll buy like a box of cards, and out of that box of cards, I'll sell something. Or but like I would say like I'm not a huge breaker.
No,
I do
no, no,
every
you're not.
I do every now and then like to gamble, and I've become a lot more selective of like what I'm breaking or like what I'm buying. Like I'm um like enjoy the mini Coco breaks. Those have always been always enjoyable. I enjoy doing different like the different things that relegation station's done. But like I'm definitely, I'm not, sometimes it's fun to gamble, and that's basically
Yeah.
what breaks. Sometimes it is fun to gamble, but I'm just not like, oh, I can buy a spot for, you know maybe I'll buy like a spot for $80. Not
Mm-hmm.
often I will. And like the thing that kind of bums me out is like, well, I hit maybe one silver card and one refractor, and that's about all I hit. And it's like, yeah, I could have easily taken that $80 and bought, four $20 cards, and had cards that probably have like a more monetary, have a more steady value, or might fluctuate a little bit. But it's like, it's fun to gamble sometimes, but I'm usually more so in the frame of like, I'm gonna buy something that I know I like and will enjoy it, and along those lines.
I like that explanation, and I can relate in most of those because I've made that transition. And if you haven't noticed, when it comes to getting into the hobby, there's always like that transitional period where everybody I think has gone through it one time or another, and that's like when you first start collecting. All of a sudden, your first mindset is, I need to catch up with everybody. Let me just start buying a lot of lots. Get as
Right.
many cards as I can. And your mentality is, I'm going to get these lots. I'll do the research on these cards, and then I'm going to flip these cards, and then that way I can double what I just purchased, and that doubles my investment, and then I can just reach out for more lots, and then keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. Well, I got about like 4 boxes back there that I keep telling myself, yeah, I'm going to sell them. Yeah, I'm going to sell them. My wife's like, how much are those worth? Like, oh, there's a lot of good ones, and it's worth quite a amount. It's like, oh, you should sell. I was like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
Right.
Because it never been my primary focus. Like you can ask all my friends. I mean, even you. Like, I like to buy Colombia cards 100%.
Right.
That is my passion. That is my hard PC. There's still a couple cards out there that I my grail is like, I want to complete and have that to witness. But when it comes to like other players, I've learned to become more selective of the players that I'm purchasing, and making sure I'm not buying like I used to. Like, oh, I got a base version of a Holland, and at that time I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do good with this base Holland, realizing a lot later down the road, like, base ain't worth crap. Why did I spend like $1 $2 on whatnot for this lot of base cards that I literally can't do nothing? So what do? I make a nice little box because my daughter, when she studies and stuff, she likes to organize these cards by the player name. So there was a purpose for that. It worked out. I made a table that's on my Instagram. You haven't seen that I use from the Topps Finest Flashbacks. I decorated the top of the table with the cards and everything, and had a custom glass cut, and I melded it together. So now it looks really cool. So I mean, you can find purposes for base. It's just not ideal what you're thinking of.
I will say though, I think something that does need to somewhat change is, I think some base matters. There's some base that does matter. I
Thank you.
think
I like that. Yes. Like, I mean, I'm not big on the Yamal chain. I have a lot of Yamal, and I've said it before. I'll hold it because I know there's a value to it. But yeah, like the Yamal bases, they're still doing pretty decent.
right. I think you just got to know. And like I think even like some of like the older stuff like that was like, I'm going back to 2014, 2017. The stuff wasn't printed as much.
Mm-mm.
So it's some of that stuff does matter. Like a Ronaldo base, like, and that, like, one thing that kind of like one thing that kind of pees me off is like, all right, I just had a Ronaldo in like, base card, and like you don't do anything. Like it's a freaking Ronaldo card. Like at least put it in something. Like
Oh yeah,
don't
even my base
don't
Ronaldo's have
don't
sleeves and top loaded.
yeah. Oh, don't just ship me a Ronaldo card. That just is, here you go. Here's a card that is like, that's, oh, here's your Axel Witsel and Ronaldo. It's like, come on,
Right.
dude, put the Ronaldo in something.
Right.
And so, like, that's one thing I liked about your interview with Oaks. Actually, like, he was talking about like, yeah, even silvers, I'm gonna top load, and I'm like, thank you, like, I get it. Like another thing
Right.
that sort of pees me off is, um, I buy into a break.
Repeat that sentence.
Give me my base, please.
Exactly.
Give me my.
Exactly. I totally understand. I totally agree when it comes to that.
That's some of my 10 cents on that.
No, yeah, no, in every right. So because I mean, I love that interview with Oaks. Like me and him, the episode was an hour that I released. But if you were to look at the actual record time, we almost recorded 2 hours worth of content. So there's gonna be a lot of little exclusive episodes that I'm gonna be releasing that I feel like should be released by itself. Because there's no
Gotcha.
way anybody's gonna be sitting through a 2 hour podcast. I could just tell you that right now. I mean, you and me have already talked about 40 minutes, and it hasn't even felt that long. That's the thing. Like with what I try to do in my shows and everything is try to make everybody just feel so comfortable that the time that we're speaking doesn't even feel like that we spent that much time. So I appreciate all that feedback that you just gave on there. And so you pulled out the base card logic and everything. Let me now touch a hot topic that's kind of always been on my mind because of an experience that I've had, and that's one of ones. Okay, and
Mm.
and I'm just going to explain a scenario. This is an open scenario. This isn't related towards anything whatsoever. But if a person were to play, buy into a break or buy a blaster or a hobby box, whatever the case is, and they hit a one of one, okay, and I'll give you two scenarios on this, and then I want your opinion, and I'll provide you mine if we have time. Is you get two one of ones out of it. One of them of a player that you have no idea of, and then the second one is obviously like, let's go Mbappe. Just throwing a name out there. How would you market those if you were to sell them? Because obviously everybody always says you have a one of one. You hold the true market. You can value that card however much you want that card to be valued. But really is what's the reasonable value in my opinion?
I mean, I think the most realistic way that you, if you want to have like the true value of a card, like a 101. So like you have the Mbappe 101, like sure you can put it up for, $1 million and then best offer, whatever, $1 million. It's never gonna be $1 million. I'm just that's the first number that came to my mind.
Yeah,
But
no.
you'd be like, all right, Mbappe, 101, say like World Cup card. All right, I'll put it like 200,000. If 200,000, see what happens. You can do it that way. See what offers come in. But I think if you want the true, most true way of being able to identify like the price of like a card or like whatever is just be like, all right, 1 week, 99 cent auction, go. And then whatever, whoever, like, say like the Mbappe goes for whatever, and then the Joe Schmo goes for whatever, like that's what the Joe Schmo goes for. Like, I'm like for myself, like I've never hit a 101. The best I've hit is out of tens, a couple out of tens, and it's just kind of like you can set a price and kind of wait and see what offers come in. Typically, if it was something that you can set a high, but if you really want a true gauge on like what the hobby thinks, you just do a 99 cent auction and see what happens.
Right, and I think that's a good logic and everything. So when my 2 cents is when it comes to like if you were to relate it towards like the Mbappe one of one, I would feel like yeah, you could throw whatever market number you want, and I hear this logic all the time, and I believe it's true to a certain point that you it's worth whatever a person's willing to pay for. That is
Right.
true. Okay, yes, give granted that is true. If a person drops 45 grand on a Mbappe one of one, then more kudos to them. But if that person is thinking now I can sell that one of one now for 50 because I hold the official market value for it, what are
Right.
the odds looking like at that point? Like, is he really going to be able to do that? Is he relying on Mbappe's skill and luck that he's going to be like the most phenomenal generational player and win all these prestigious awards so he could have that chance? I think one on ones are the coolest thing ever. I have a one on one. It's Luis Diaz, and you even when you went to that one show, you showed me that Gold Wave one of one of Luis Diaz for the Copa set that I've been working on also. And I think what was it? The guy was asking for like $800 or something like that.
I don't recall, but I think it was something along those lines.
Yeah, so it's somewhere around that number. And to me, I was like, if I had all the extra money funds that I could afford to spend it, yeah, maybe. But that still like aches me to think like I could see it more like 500, 600, only because like when I was looking things up, I looked at other one of ones that sold and they all ranged at that price.
Right.
So even though they say one of ones have no comparable prices, I feel like some things they probably do because it's only one of one of that set. There's hundreds of other one of ones of that player.
Right.
So it just
Nice.
depends on like the set, brand, and whatever product is coming out of that's if it's the high end product, yeah, obviously that one of one's gonna be a little bit more in value compared towards like a
Right.
paper Don Russ 101 or something like that.
For
So
sure. For sure.
that was my curiosity of what you feel like, and I'm glad to see that you have a very similar opinion to it. And yet again, it is opinion. It's all opinion. To each their own. Take it with a grain of salt. That's all I have to say.
For sure. For sure. It's I'm never gonna like one of the things to me that's crazy is like you like I've gone on like Facebook and like looked at like the soccer selling things. And somebody's like has this card and they have it way, they have it stickered really high, and people are like, dude, that your price is stupid. And they're like laughing and giggling. I'm like, all right, you can laugh and giggle about it. That's the person's price. Like, sure, he might be like more over something. Maybe it's a low numbered card, and it's like, what's the comparison, whatever. But it's like his card, his price. Like, I'm never
Right.
gonna, buddy. Like, I'm just gonna be like, oh, that's a cool card. Oh, do I want? I don't want it for that price. So I'm gonna back up, but I'm gonna still appreciate the card. And it's your card. You do whatever you want with your
Mm,
card. Like, I'm never gonna bash somebody for having a high.
yes. That's true, and that is very true because I know when it comes to that, like if I ever negotiate products and I want to get something, if someone's asking for an astronomical number, my first reaction is not going to be bashing the players. Like, yeah, good luck with that. You'll never sell it. No, 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 no. I condone those type of things because that's not right. You're already spreading a lot of ill content right off the bat with a potential person that you could have, made good friends with, and maybe down the road had better deals with him. It's all about building that relationship with that person. I would just been like, nah, you know what? More power to you. I hope you do sell it at that price and have a big W out of it. But then at the same time, it's like, but that for me is just a little bit out of pocket. So I'll have to genuinely pass.
I get that.
Well, thanks for providing all that input on that, and I like that. I respect that a lot, and think I can agree with most of it for sure, or all of it actually. But let's go ahead and real fast, since we finished that topic up. You have 5 to 10 seconds now to go ahead and grab your second card.
Grab another card. Oh boy.
Yeah, you got one more because we'll be going into the game. Ooh, ooh,
There you
ooh. This game is gonna not be in your favor with two of those picks.
go. Uh oh.
All right. So I got a couple more questions left and then we're going to get into the game. So, first things first, as we were talking about the cards and one-on-ones and stuff like that, I wanted to actually now know your opinion because I actually found out that there's a good population of people who prefer specific type of cards. And my question to you is, do you like raw cards more or do you prefer owning more graded cards?
Oh man, that's actually a good question. I think, oof, man. I think like for me, like it comes down to this. Like there's cards I'm gonna buy and they're really cool cards, but they probably won't gem. And so like for myself, I have no problem having some cards in my collection raw. But at the same time, like if I feel like a card has a good chance of gemming, and as I said earlier, like sometimes I'll like grade stuff that I think is really, that I really enjoy. Like I enjoy this card, love this card. Um, and I'll probably keep it in the collection for a while, and then like eventually I kind of do get bored of it, and I do know that like other people collect this player, and so like I'm willing to be like, all right, grade it, eventually move it. I do have a few cards that I'm like, yep, I'm not selling this card. That
Yeah.
never happening. But with it too, like you know, I don't have a problem with either. I don't think I have a preference. What about yourself?
For me, I actually don't have a preference. I mean, I have PSA cards that are like eights and sevens. I mean, this one that I showed off, and I think it was an Oaks' show. Yeah, the Ronaldo Messi from Adrenaline. That's a
Mm-hmm.
PSA 6. So that stuff doesn't really genuinely bother me. To me, it's like if that's a card that I really, really want, and I know I'm not going to sell it because it's into my personal collection, then would it be cool to own a PSA 10? Yeah, of course. But
Right.
if I got this card and it's available right now and it's third of the price, I'm like, I want it because I like it, so I'll grab it.
That makes sense to me. I do think like when it comes to personal collection, like things that you won't sell, like I do think it's easier to be like, oh, I really want this card, and it's easier to buy it like in a lower grade, and just be like, you know what, I appreciate the card, I like the card.
Right.
That
So that's cool. I like that. So my last question for you, all right, before we get into our game and you get your last card, but don't start looking yet. SoCo, I know you got to go. I saw all the pictures and the selfies with all the people that you networked with. What was it like? How was the networking?
Honestly, to me, that was the best part. Like you go to a show, you interact with so many people. A lot of it are people that you do like the like you if they're on a lot of people there are people that are on Whatnot. So it's like you recognize their voice. You might not recognize them as like a person because they don't like a lot of people don't necessarily post pictures of themselves. Some people do.
Right.
Some people are starting to do like the joint screen where you can see their face and the card or whatever they're showing on their screen. Um, but like a lot of it came down to like I had two friends that set up and kind of hung out with them a little bit, and then I knew a bunch of people that were there, and you know, I think for me, my favorite part, it was fun looking at the cards, but at the same time, like I look at it and like I met people I've interacted with online forever. So like was able to meet Kentucky Fried Sports cards. I was able to meet Special One cards. Those are like two people like I'd interacted with forever, and we're people that are really big, like kind of like doing different things on like Whatnot or their social media. And so
Yeah.
for me, like actually putting the name to the face and like being able to actually genuinely sit down like and have like dinner with Special One, sit down after Kentucky Fried Sports Cards was done, like doing the videography and photos for the event, and just have like, well, he had a beer, I didn't, because I was like, I don't really want to spend the money on a beer, but just hanging out and just having conversation, just like for me, that's super fun. So it's just for me, it's just like a lot of it comes down to like the friendships I've built like within the hobby. Like it's super fun. Like there's a lot of people like that I hang out with regularly, just check in with regularly, and for me that's what I enjoy quite a bit. I mean, on top of it, you do see some really crazy grail cards. There's some people that have some just insane collections, insane cards they're selling, but at the same time you can find stuff that you like. And I picked up probably 30 to 40 cards, I want to say, over the course of the weekend. A lot of it was thing like, some of it was stuff I'm like, all right, I'm gonna this is my collection. So if it's like, maybe I can sell it for a little bit more, just let's see what happens. But it was just fun. It was a great experience. Can't gotta Probably gonna do it next year. Hopefully I'm gonna go. Just kind of gotta see what's going on in my life. But as of now, I'll keep that week, that few couple days open for it. I think the big one I'm gonna that I'm excited for next, that I'm gonna make the time to go to, is gonna be Shipshawana. It's in what are the it's the northeastern Indiana. It's the Amish, like
Hmm.
Amish country. So like
Cool.
you're driving the road. The first time I ever experienced an Amish buggy in my life, I was like, what's that red thing? I was going like, probably a little over the speed limit, and see this red triangle, and I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is that? And then I'm like, oh shoot, that's a buggy, and there's a don't want to be going like 55 miles an hour by a little buggy, and my not going to end well for anyone if I hit them. So I was like, all right, I now know that I'm in Amish country, but it's a really fun show. It's Friday's like you have to pay to get in, and then Saturday's kind of like the day that it's like the big show. But it's a
Right.
fun show. It's like maybe 5 hour drive from myself. It's pretty close to like Chicago, Detroit, Columbus. So it's kind of like Indianapolis. So it's kind of like in that general area. But it's a show that I'm looking forward to, and went to it about a year ago, or 9 months ago, getting close to a year, and had a great time. Met some cool people, and I think that's the next big show I'm gonna go to, and trying to convince some people that are kind of like in the general vicinity, like, hey, you should come, let's hang out, run a house, and hang out for the weekend. So
There you go. That's awesome. Well, that's actually the last question actual interview question I have. Now I need you to pick that last card. All right.
all right, let's have some fun here. Here we go. We'll go with this Bale.
You're gonna have fun with this game. All
Uh,
right. Now, before we hit up to the game, we got to do the flex your PC. All right. So, how many cards you flex in a day?
I will do. I'll go with five cards.
All
Go
right,
with
and
five.
then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll match your 5 with my 5.
All
So
right, all right,
I'll let you take honors.
all right. So let's have some fun. You mentioned that I used to flex that I went to elementary and middle school with certain somebodies. So the
Yep.
first card I'm gonna do here, actually, it's kind of fun. I was walking the floor of the National and came across this Clay Thompson. So yes, I went to elementary and middle school with Clay Thompson and played on one basketball team with him. He definitely was a very good player. Was walking the floor of the National and saw that and talked to the vendor about why I wanted to, why the card was cool and why it was like, it's not the most expensive card in the world. I think it was like $20, but to me, it's like, yep, I'm not selling this card. It's
Yeah, you
just
went to
cool.
school with him. You beat him 1v1 in the recess playground. Clay
that
Thompson
never
owes you for that.
that never you would you, that never happened. But yeah, that's card number one.
All right, my turn. So, my first one, these are all raws. Now that we're
All
speaking
right.
raw versus graded. Actually, no. I'm going to substitute one just cuz you are on the episode today. So, I'm going to drop this one. Okay. Now I'll go. I just actually picked this up actually for a really good deal. It is out of 99, but it is an auto from National Treasures of Duvan
Yeah,
Zapata from Colombia kit.
nice. Number to me doesn't matter. Like as long as you like the card, like the player, like
Exactly. Love Zapata.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Your turn.
All right. I think this might be the only non-graded card, ironically, in my little thing here. Um, but we got Martin Odegaard, rookie from Black Gold Auto, out of I think 199. Like I said earlier, I'm a Norwegian American. Odegaard's my favorite Norwegian player. Also plays for my favorite team, Arsenal. So I'm trying to
Cool.
decide. Trying to decide though, do I want to have a Odegaard Arsenal collection or Odegaard Norway collection?
No,
That's
no,
my
you got to
tough.
go Norway. You got to go
Yep,
Norway.
yeah, we got a lot of Odegaard Arsenal that I might have to move to Oaks if you're curious. So let me know.
I was going to say Oaks is a huge Arsenal fan, so you beat him
Right.
to the shout out. For me, the next one, I got a couple of them actually from this year's set, which I was so excited to see that they were part of it. I got Yom Leucemia, and this one's the patch auto out of 49 from the new
Nice,
Immaculate.
nice. I haven't seen enough Immaculate this year to be honest, so I
Which
need to look.
that's a shout out to Whip because he hooked me up with that one in this other card I'll be showing here in a little bit.
All right, all right,
Your turn.
all right. Here's one I'm gonna go with. So like you were talking about earlier, how the grade doesn't really matter. This is one where I could have gone for a 10, would have been a little bit more expensive, but it's the Christian Pulisic 2017 Chrome Purple. Shout out Kentucky Fried Sports Cards for the deal here. Um, I think 2017 is probably my second favorite set. Um, and I was like, I have to get my hands on a Pulisic card. That when I was at the National, I was like, this is the card I want.
2017 is sick, and I don't know if you saw it or not, and I have him up for recording here soon. Stebbs hit from that set the Cristiano Ronaldo auto out of 5.
I think I saw the clip or the image or whatever recently. That's whoever he hit that for.
Insane.
Congrats to him for pulling that card. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got here another one is Jefferson Lerma out of 49 auto on the Excellence from Immaculate. As you can see, a
All right,
lot of these are this year's set. You're
good
up.
stuff. All right, so here's a fun there's a show in Xenia, Ohio. It's basically like in a county fairground, like in the buildings there. Not a whole lot of soccer. If there is soccer, I'm one of the few people that has it, or there's a handful of other people that do. But this is one of my favorite pickups ever from that show. It's a 2014 Ronaldo Prism
Wow.
PSA, and yeah, I remember driving home after picking up this car, and I was just couldn't was like, I might get in a car crash because I just could not take my eye off the card.
That's a good pickup. I've been chasing actually the based version of it. I want to get one and grade it for myself. That I need to up my Cristiano set, not because he's my go, but he's close to it.
Let me
Now,
guess, your goat's James Rodriguez.
no, not yet. But don't give it
Okay.
away. Dang it! Now
Oh,
I'm gonna have to give it away. So I'm gonna do it next. Because now
my
I can't.
bad,
I
brother.
gotta build suspense for one card, and you did it. So
My bad,
you
brother.
knew what rainbow I've been working on for a very long time,
Right.
and it's the 2024 Copa America, and it's James Rodriguez, and I
My,
think. If I'm not mistaken, that's literally where our first conversation with each other started was with this card, if I remember
right. The
correctly.
white sparkle.
Uh-huh. Because
Yeah.
at that time, I just stumbled into your room and it was on the back wall and I said I liked it. We talked a little bit. I jumped out and I think that's when I had my first break with Mini Coco.
Okay.
My daughter, for all of you out there, we do a father-daughter break. And you came into my room and you saw my hummus rainbow and you reached out to me again and we worked out a deal and yes, sure enough, PSA 9 White Sparkle, James Rodriguez. But,
It's a beautiful card, man. Beautiful card.
and this is how much the community means to me and the friends I make. On the back is the note you left us when you sold me that card. So I kept that note still on the PSA slab. So just to let you know that I've never thrown it away or anything. So then
Got some
go
editing fun.
since Wiggs' iPhone heats up so fast, we're gonna have to probably try to speed run a little bit of this. So, Wiggs, do you want to flex one more and go straight into the game?
Sounds good to me. So here we go. This is probably the Holy Grail.
The
The
gold
pack
Messi.
pulled. Yep, pack pulled Messi. I know you're not a big Argentina fan, but
Meh.
that's got the. I was bought a hobby box after I got my the second job out here. I've had a kind of a rough period of time, and when I got the second job, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy a hobby box, and got very lucky. The lottery wasn't my favorite that day.
That's hilarious. Hey, while we're talking and everything, you need to drop your camera about a little bit because your face looks like it's
So
being hugged by the paint emoji stuff on my overlay. There we go. Now let's keep rocking for everybody laughing right now.
there, yeah,
So here's gonna be my last PC that I'm gonna show off, and it's from and yet again another shout out to Whip. I mean, probably people probably think he's like my exclusive hookup, but everybody's hooked me up before. And it's a Richard Rios. I was
what
so
hobbies about
excited. I was so excited
with
for this. But it's 21 out of 99 Richard Rios auto out of the Excellence and Immaculate.
nice.
But I think did you already show five? That was your five. Messi was your five.
Yeah, Messi was number 05.
Awesome. Let me put that back. Okay, so those three cards that you grab, these are going to be your players in this game that you're going to be choosing. What it is called is draft your player, which you've already made your draft. You got your three players locked and loaded,
Oh
and
boy,
I'm going to give
got
you.
three forward.
I'm gonna give yeah exactly. I got 15 questions for you. All right, and each of those
All
questions
right,
I'm gonna ask, and you're gonna select one of those players that you drafted for that scenario. Okay. And if I feel like you need to give an explanation, then I'll stop and I'll ask for it. All right.
all right.
All right. Here we go. One goal to save the world. Which of your players is going to be taking that shot?
I'm gonna go with Gareth Bale, and it's based off the phenomenal game he had in the Champions League final number of years ago.
Honestly, you had Luis Suarez, James Rodriguez, and Gareth Bale, and you choose Gareth on that one. I feel
My
like
bad, brother.
I, I feel like, and I'm not a big Luis Suarez fan, but even me thinking like the two Latin players are going to do a better chance, in my opinion. But hey, you do you. You save the world with Garrett's left foot or right foot, whichever one he's taking it with. All right. Question number 2. You're down 1-0 in the Champions League final. Which player do you sub onto the field to change the dynamic of the game?
Go with Mr. James Rodriguez.
That's a good choice. And not just because I'm being biased, but that genuinely is a good choice. I mean, look at Real Madrid, exactly what happened when he got subbed in. History has proven it.
Right.
All right, you're starting a brand new club tomorrow. Which of those three players is going to be your captain?
I think I'm gonna go with the head case. That gets mad sometimes. Got to have some flair and anger in your team.
Ooh, in my head, the first one I was thinking was Gareth Bale. I know
Okay.
James is the captain of the Colombia squad and everything, and he does a great job leading the team without a doubt. But I think Gareth would do a really good job.
Yeah, he was a. Oh no, he wasn't the captain. It was like Aaron Ramsey was the captain. Of the
Yeah.
Welsh 16. Loved Aaron Ramsey. Great Arsenal player.
Yeah. Yep. All right. You've got one penalty in the 90th minute. Who will you trust to step up in the pressure? Be under pressure or whatever. You know what I mean.
Suarez.
I have to agree with that one. I think that's actually a very solid choice. All right, you're building a team around one of your three players. Who is going to be your franchise player in the next 5 years?
Well, they're all pretty old, so it's not looking good for me. He's the youngest. Bell's just playing golf now. He's retired. Suarez.
Suarez is older than James.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with James and on that one because Bale's retired. Suarez is the twilight of his career. James, injuries kind of haven't helped him, but I think I would have to go with James. I think of the players there, I'd say he's probably to me one of the more team-oriented players.
For sure.
Team-oriented players,
For sure.
willing to do different things to make the team succeed.
There we go. All right. Chapter 2 of this game is called Hobby Focus now. One of these players' cards will multiply by 10 times next year. Who are you investing in?
Of these three,
Mm-hmm.
probably Suarez.
Okay. You just pulled a 1 of 1 auto of one of those players. Who are you locking in as the PC forever?
Me personally, Suarez.
Ooh, Suarez, I think, taking a lead now for sure. You have to sell one of those cards to fund your next break. Which card is Wiggy going to be selling?
Oh man. Well, realistically, the only one here that would be able to buy me a big spot would probably be Suarez. That'd be the one that would get me like the most money. The other two are very nice cards. And I do like them, but they're gonna buy me a very 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 cheap spot.
That's hilarious.
But real, I'm not that the. I've never saw in this card. This is probably one of my favorite cards, and I actually got it the first Soka I went to when I was in Cleveland. So for me, I can't sell that card. That's one of my favorite cards I've ever bought in my life.
All right. You're creating a brand new set theme, kind of similar to like what a Kaboom or a Color Blast. Which player deserves that face of that new layout on that card?
I think I'd want to see James on that.
Let's go. He needs more case hits. He really does. He deserves it. All right. You can get a dual auto with one legend. Which player will you pair that auto with? That idol with?
I would say Bale, Ronaldo, since they played together and won the Champions League.
Ooh, good one. I like that. That was a good one. I like that choice. All right. Here's the part 3 of our game, and this is going to be some very interesting questions for your choices. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
You're stranded on a desert island. Which player do you think could actually help you survive?
Well, I know that he's gonna take bites out of things that he doesn't like, so I think I might have to go with Suarez. He might
I
take.
feel that I think he would take a bite out of you.
I'm gonna hope he takes a bite out of the shark first.
And I just realized I don't like the fact that yes, Suarez partnered up with James because Suarez bit James.
Oh, really? I know I know he bit Chiellini. I know he bit. When he bite James?
He bit him in 2014 in Brazil.
2014. He bit James and I know he bit Chiellini in for Italy. Did he also bite James at some point?
Yeah, he bit James, and he bit one other Colombian player too in a friendly.
Okay, okay. Well, he back. I wonder what he did as a child when he was playing like on the playground. To be honest and fair with you, I wonder how many kids he bit back
He
then.
probably read a lot of Twilight.
Yeah, he's a vampire from Seattle.
Right. All right. Here's the next question. One of your players is dropping a rap album. Who do you think would have the best bars?
Ooh man, I feel like Bale did something like that before. I could be wrong, but I feel like Hamas would have some good
It'd be some
some good.
reggaeton right there, boy.
Yeah. Both Hamas and I think Suarez would be doing a little bit of that.
Yep. All right. You are filming a hobby commercial. Which one of those players is going to be your hype man?
Going with Bale. I've seen his humor. I feel like he could do a pretty good job of doing that.
Yep. I love this one I came up with. Are you ready? And it
All right.
fits better with the players you have. One player has to babysit your kids. Who are you trusting not to lose them?
Not Suarez. Not Suarez. No, no, no. He's probably going to be biting them. Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Probably going to have to go with Grant Bale.
I feel like that's a really good choice. All right. Last question. All right. You're at a whatnot auction and one player starts overbidding everyone. Who who's causing that chaos in your chat?
Suarez. He's chaos, but sometimes you just got to love chaos.
Hey, chaos makes a purpose in life sometimes. Well, what'd you think of the game?
I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. It was fun. Was not expecting
Awesome.
that. I was like I got a game for you. I'm like, ooh, all right. I was not I was not expecting that, but you turned it into a very fun game.
Awesome. I'm glad. I'm so glad you liked it. Like I was just brainstorming this. I'm like, oh, I think I can. I think if Wiggy's gonna be my test dummy here. I think I can make this work. If especially if he picks like the right player, which you actually did. Like the Suarez ones just worked out in some scenarios. Like I'm genuinely like tearing up from laughing. But thank Wiggs, seriously, thank you so much for being a part of this episode. I appreciate it. I had a fun time with you on this conversation that I had. The game was a blast, and I want to turn the floor to you for whatever you have to say to pretty much close us out.
I think I've said this a couple times throughout the night, but to me, you know, cards are cool, cards are fun. You can bond over it, you can bond over teams. But to me, like the people that I've met in the hobby have been by far some of like the best friendships I've ever made in my life. And people that it doesn't even need to be talking about cards. Like sometimes I'll just reach out to people and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
And just have like a genuine conversation with them, about life. Like, and to me, that's more important than the cards. Just having great friendships, and the cardboard can come second.
I like that. I like that. Anything else before we close it?
No, man, I think I'm good. Had a fun time. I know I could have talked a lot longer.
Same. Seriously, I can talk quite a while. I think it annoys my wife that sometimes I just don't shut up. So I think this podcast has been truly a blessing because now I can just talk my head off to whoever I want.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I think for me, it can be hard to sometimes listen to a podcast because I don't have like a long commute to work. So like, sitting and just building the time to do it. Like, I do. I mean, I myself, I love to talk. So, if I talk, maybe I should listen to other people a little bit more sometimes.
There we go. But hey, everybody out there in the room watching, and just make sure you hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. As this video releases, that Oaks giveaway is still going on, so make sure you tune into that last episode and follow the giveaway rules on there, so you have a chance to win, as Oaks said, a autographed jersey and a Oaks Hobby block box. So make sure you tune into those. And guys, thank y'all so much for jumping in beyond the break, and we'll catch y'all next time. We'll see y'all later.